And we are live.
Are we really?
Yes, we are. Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
I guess.
I am William, and I am your Dungeon Master storyteller for this Warcraft RPG campaign. Welcome back to Storm, Earth, and Fire. Joining me today, we have Stan.
That's me. I'm playing Josh the Goblin, who is a techno-mystic tinker.
And Zachary.
Hi, I'm not a bank robber.
Yes, he is.
I'm Zach. I'm playing Leaf Ironmender, half-orc tinker priest of the Holy Light.
And Rudy.
Hey, I'm Rudy. I'm playing Brick Earth Whisperer, Rune Master, and a Rune Knight.
And Holly.
Hi.
Who looks very alone on that side of the table right now.
No one loves me. No one at all. I'm Holly. I'm playing Shiana Flamecarver. That's okay.
And that's Snake Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shiana Flamecarver. I'm an assassin, rogue, orc. I'm very lonely and depressed over here.
According to Boo, you can be a half-orc tinker and a bank robber. We can all be bank robbers.
I'll follow my dreams of robbing bank. Wait, those are bad dreams.
For you. Not for me.
But when last we left off,
Wait.
when last we left off this group of adventurers, they had taken some time to start setting up their new guild hall outside of Orgrimmar in the Spike Tusk Fort, which is set just sort of on the even ground between what used to be Thunder Ridge and the South Fury River. We are short Austin and John today for various reasons, but
They don't love me.
Austin has turned
one
into
of them is your
Murloc.
husband.
Neither of them love me.
There, now you're not alone.
The Murloc loves you.
You're saying that this plush Murloc is a substitution for my husband.
Yes. Is it
If you want
Murloc?
him to be. Hey.
Now, the plush Narwhal I can see is a substitution for John.
Okay. So, the group had taken some time to start setting up their guild hall outside of Spike Tusk Fort, and having discovered a dead body in it that was once a Tauren, two of the group, one Leaf Ironmender and Brick Earth Whisperer, decided to take the body to Thunderbluff to see proper last rites. Once there, they met with the chieftain Bane Bloodhoof and saw that the body was properly handled. Before they decided to either rest for the evening or immediately start heading back, Leaf decided he wanted to take a look down into the pools of vision down beneath Thunderbluff's Spirit Rise. And making their way down there, they decided to take a look around, and Leaf decided to attempt to meditate down there and was granted a vision, which is where we return to this story.
Time for some daggers.
And so, Leaf, as the darkness surrounds you, Leaf, the emptiness stretching before you like an ocean, you find yourself alone, lost in the expansive darkness for a moment, before a voice breaks through the silence, a curious tone finding your ears. Now who be you? The voice is almost troll in quality, but seems somehow more potent, more powerful, more ancient. Before you have a chance to respond, it speaks again. Ah, I see you now, man. You be a lost child, finding his way without the guidance you need. You be seeking it from the light. You be seeking it from the spirits. But the light and the spirits, they be no parents. They only speak in riddles and feelings that it takes a grown man in touch with himself to understand. As you spin around trying to find the source of this voice, it always seems to change location, ever seeming to be just over your shoulder. It takes a man to teach a boy. As you look around, images begin to swim through the darkness. Your mother and your father, faint shapes, but all too familiar, and before your eyes they fade away again. But them that would teach ya be beyond your reach now. So now you gotta find another. A faint, shadowy outline of the figure, indistinct and impossible to tell details, begins to emerge from the shadows. It radiates a certain peace and calm, but at the same time a danger and the promise of violence. They'll find you, and soon. Sooner than you think, whether you recognize them or not. But that not be why you're here. You be seeking your path forward now. What lies at the end of this road you be walking? A shape begins to form in the darkness, an armored figure clad in black, a helm shaped like the head of a dragon, and a sword with 7 branches in their right hand. You be building toward the confrontation with that which been haunting ya. Your questions about whether you can really save anyone, about whether you can make a difference. Your chance be coming. Better not waste it. Finally you turn and find yourself face to face with the mysterious voice. The image of a massive, troll-like figure stands before you, with white, skeletal tattoos on his chest and bedecked in bones. No, bedecked is the wrong term. A rack of bones rests on his back, tied with ancient leather and with many skulls hanging from it, but elsewhere the bones are a part of his body. His lower face is like that of a troll, but as the eyes rise to behold everything else above the jaw, only a troll's skull is beheld, with eyes that glow with an eerie, pale blue light. The tall, wild mane of hair above the skull jostling as he gives an eerie chuckle and reaches forward, the bone necklace around his neck clacking ominously as he extends a single hand, which you realize begins to decay partway down the upper arm and leads to a mostly skeletal hand, which extends in a welcoming gesture. Or else, all buon samedi gonna be waiting to receive the dead. And with that you start awake, finding yourself once again in the faint teal-green glow of the pools of vision.
Do I recognize that figure at all?
Only religion.
Uh, 21.
You've heard from the trolls that you've interacted with, especially the Dark Spear, of Buon Samedi, the Loa of Death, who is supposedly the keeper of the dead and the one who sees fallen souls through to the other side.
And the shadowy figure, not the armored one, but the other one that I only faintly saw, could I make anything out about it?
There were no real details.
Not even... I guess there's nothing to reference height for either.
I mean, just a figure in the dark.
Do I notice a change in expression of anyone else around me?
Everyone else is going about their business. You imagine the people experiencing visions is not uncommon in a place called the Pools of Vision.
Yeah. And of course I'm the only one that got something similar at this moment at least.
Yeah, and Brick, you just sort of saw him sit down and close his eyes for roughly a minute before he opened them again.
Well, ominous visions on my first try. This place is certainly interesting.
Yes, it is very. The spirits. The spirits are strong here. So, what did you see?
Well, I've heard from many of the shamans that I've talked with about the Keeper of the Dead, a troll by the name of Samdi, or, well, a spirit vaguely in the form of a troll. And essentially telling me that I'm going to have very soon an opportunity to make some kind of an impact, and that I shouldn't squander it.
And you know, some call him just Samdi, but his name is Buon Samdi. B-W-O-N. S-A-M-D-I is the full name.
Cool.
Buon Samdi.
I see.
Say, I also saw a figure, heavily armored, holding a tree or something with 7 branches in his other hand. Does that ring a bell? Does it ring a bell to me either?
History.
Hmm.
14.
8.
You recall that Garrick described the Black Dragon Knight that supposedly was working with the Twilight's hammer as wielding a 7-branched sword that burst into flames.
Huh. Fun. 'Cause it sounds like we're not exactly leaving behind the Twilight's hammer as much as we might have hoped.
Hmm.
And if he's in the Eastern Kingdoms now, let's get back home. We've got work to do on the base.
Agreed.
Head back, or start heading back.
And you make your trip back. It's another 8-hour flight. You get a night's rest while that's happening. The rest of you have been working on your base while that's been happening.
My giant room.
Your double room amid the layout.
I also want to head into town and see if I can figure out what to do about preserving this heart from the Thunder Lizard thingy.
Sure. Just make me an investigation check.
Investigation or... 16.
16. So you can get someone who can get you the proper solution to preserve it for about 10 gold. And that won't make it usable, but it'll keep it from spoiling until you figure out how you want to use it.
I'm going to get enough for about 5 of those in case Jankatol wants
So
to pull more of those things out.
50 gold.
Just go ahead and, I'll just ahead. Okay, so, is there a library or anything? Like a library or something I can look up stuff like that? How do you go about using, researching stuff like that? How I might...
If you ask around about a library, that's not... There are a couple of archives. You can find some in Grommash Hold. You can find, in the Valley of Spirits, there's some... The shamans keep an amount of records. But if you're looking for, scholarly erudition in, libraries, you probably want to head to Silvermoon. Because the Blood Elves run the Reliquary, which is sort of the seekers of artifacts and ancient knowledge, and they would have the most full actual libraries.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But if you want to just ask someone about working with Thunder Lizard hearts, you can probably just ask someone who knows.
Okay, I'll just ask around town first.
Yeah. Roll me investigation again.
Investigate. That's that. Okay.
It's intelligence based.
20.
20. So as you ask around, basically what you'll learn from people who have made use of them is that the essence of them can be used by enchanters to bestow lightning enchantments. It's a part of a reagent that's involved in the enchanting of electrical abilities. And as far as technology goes, it's probably useful as a battery as long as you can keep it in sort of a saline solution that will keep it from grounding itself, essentially.
Right. Okay.
They don't tend... If you can keep them preserved, they don't tend to rot as much on their own, just because they're magically active, and that tends to keep that kind of stuff away. Because Thunder Lizards are a magical beast. They are innately attuned with the spirits, and that essence prevents them from rotting until after they've discharged all their magic, and keeping the heart from grounding does that for them.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So I'm just gonna head back and kind of pick all this thing for a while and keep working on the facility. Was there a well in the center of the fort somewhere?
There's a well off to the side, yeah.
Okay.
It's a short walk. It's like a minute.
Okay. So that seems to be working pretty well.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay. I might have to do something with that later.
So, and another day passes, and Leaf and Brick, you both arrive back in Orgrimmar.
During the trip, I would have been talking with Leaf about seeing if we can get some kind of hidden room for once I get my teleportation runes.
A hidden room to be able to teleport back to?
Yes.
It will be a good precaution.
Yes.
We'll see about We'll see about Jangatal's progress with the Scorpions. If there's any place that we could dig into to have a bunker, or possibly just build a room in the middle of the fort.
Yeah.
It's well defended, so shouldn't be hard to create some kind of a secret room. Good thinking. And when we get back, I'm going to go ahead and, for one last time, check with whatever the post office is or whatever. Because you mentioned that I hadn't received any letters for a while.
You sent a letter to your mother, right?
Yes, because it was a little while back, but...
Yeah. As you check with what passes for the post office, and you find that there has been a letter come in for you.
Mm-hmm.
You open it and read it, and it's a return message from your mother, who says that her services have been actively needed a lot among the Alliance as of late. She's been mostly serving to heal soldiers who come back from the battlefields, who come back from the front, and sort of helping them recover. And she's glad to hear from you, and she wishes she could see you again, but she understands that you are across lines that are difficult to get back from.
Yeah. Cool. Nothing, terribly foreboding or speaking of apocalypse, which is at least nice.
Not at the moment.
Okay. I'll sit on that for now then.
Okay. So you guys head back towards Spike Tusk Fort, I'm assuming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you head back and go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Both of us?
Yeah, both of you.
We're dead.
You get back and see the bloody...
Oh, hey, there you are again. Juan Samdi? I didn't expect to see you so soon.
That's a 10 for me.
That's a 15.
Cool.
Sorry, no, 16.
16. So, as the two of you approach Leaf, you sort of hear the sound of talons digging up dirt. And you sort of look to your side and you see a figure approaching, riding a raptor.
What does this figure look like?
It is a sort of, it's a troll of sort of pale bluish green skin complexion. Their hair is red and sort of long and spiked into a wild-looking mohawk. They have sort of this chin beard of also bright red that's tied off into a series of knots at the chin. These sort of long, curving tusks that look like they've been they have like these bands of leather and bone along the center of them. Wearing sort of this ceremonial chest garb that only really covers like the left half of the chest and leaves the other half exposed, with a series of tattoos along their upper arms and a rack of bones and trophy rack on their back that sort of rises up just barely above, like right behind their head, riding this sort of well-worn red raptor, and their face is painted white with the symbolism of a skull. In their right hand, not at the ready, just sort of on their hand, is a warglaive. That's sort of this curving blade that reaches out from both ends of the hilt. As they sort of look up and down the fort at the people and at its being reconstructed, and sort of approaching slowly on the raptor, just sort of taking in the environment.
And so the guy's getting actually pretty close to the wall.
He's approaching the fort.
I'll go ahead and point him out to Brick for a moment now. I'll just go ahead and start moving over there, and then when I'm close enough, I'll go ahead and call over to him. Brawlhall!
Trollhall, the troll says, looking over at you from the top of his raptor.
What brings you here?
I just be wanting to see who the new occupants of the Spike Tusk Fort be.
We are the Soaring Fang. We've only recently acquired this place as a guild hall of sorts.
I see. I just be wanting to meet the new watchers outside of Orgrimmar and see what they be like, where their interests lie.
Word of our arrival certainly has traveled fast.
I keep an ear to the ground, be part of my business.
Always wise outside the walls.
That seems to be where I spend a lot of my time now.
And you are?
Ah, how rude of me. My name be Vol'jin. I be a leader of the Dark Spear Trolls.
Nice. Because is Jangatal one of them, or is he some other tribe?
He is a Darkspear, yeah.
I am Leaf Ironman.
I mean, he's, as far as you know, technically he doesn't have a tribe, but he is a jungle troll, which is the same kind of trolls that the Darkspears are.
I am Leaf Ironmender. It is a pleasure to meet you.
And I am Brick Earth Whisperer.
I just be wanting to see what the allegiance is that a Soaring Fang be like.
Well,
Tell me what you think of our glorious war chief, and you can taste the sarcasm on that last note.
War chief? Which one?
we believe strongly in the cause of the Horde. To be entirely frank, because this was one of the guys who was specifically, because when I was earlier researching some stuff about this, he was specifically one of those guys that I found out was against the war chief.
Yeah, you definitely learned that he and War Chief Garrosh do not see eye to eye.
They believe in the Horde. The less said about the war chief, the better.
A wise and diplomatic response.
We prefer to do things diplomatically, and when diplomacy fails, as efficiently as possible.
That'd be worth knowing. Still, it'd be good to meet ya. Soaring Fang. Always remember, the Horde be all that matters. The War Chief be a position that can change.
Indeed it is.
So long as the Horde endures.
Indeed.
And as you sort of take in this troll, you get this profound sense of power about him. And it's not his position, it's the spirits, and specifically spirits that you don't recognize. Not the elements, not the light, but these spiritual essences that swirl around him, and especially you sense that same darkness that you found yourself in, that essence that you found yourself surrounded with when you experienced your first contact with one Samdi.
So I sense sort of his presence to an extent?
Definitely.
And I'm guessing, because does this guy normally hang around Orgrimmar?
From what you heard, very recently, all of the trolls left Orgrimmar. For one reason or another. There's maybe a handful of trolls still in the city, and most of them are people who have a business here and can just uproot.
I want to do like a sense motive, see if he was expecting something different from the conversation, or like if he's trying to get at something more.
Roll me insight.
Insight, not sense motive, whatever. That was a decent roll. 21.
You sort of get the sense that he's gauging where you stand on whether or not Garrosh is someone to be followed at all expenses.
Yeah.
He's sort of seeing whether or not the new people outside can be allies or not.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of get the sense that if you had expressed a severe loyalty towards Garrosh, this conversation would have been over already.
Yeah. But yes, it is a pleasure to meet you. One so powerful with the spirits as yourself.
I be Shadow Hunter. That be the place of our kind. The bargain with the Loa and act as the agent.
Bargaining with the Loa and acting as a representative for them, one might say?
As much as the Loa can have them.
Yes. I figured the energy of the spirits around you felt somewhat familiar. I may not be terribly well versed in the spirits myself, but I have been recently learning more of them, learning of their art.
He sort of tilts his head at you.
It was only recently, in fact, that I believe I may have even been contacted by Buam Samdi.
You speak to the Loa of Death. He be a bit of a trickster, but he always finds what he needs to find. Still, his interest in you be curious, priest. I sense delight on you.
A rare thing around here.
So it be. But there be many a priest who say often that delight take many forms.
Yes, I've found many curious familiarities and similarities. But it would be foolish to think any of this coincidence. We must all tread carefully in what we do.
That be the case. And I think you be treading most carefully, young Leaf. It'd be good to know that those sitting out here watching the approach be wiser than most of them inside that stomp and cheer the war chief's name every time he walked by.
Well, what can I say? When war is on the horizon, when war is within our walls, when war is everywhere and people are dying left and right, it's very important to take the lives that are around very, very carefully. To think everything through.
You be wiser than your years.
I sort of glance over what kind of regalia is he wearing? You mentioned a lot of ceremonial things, but how well armed is he right now?
The only weapon that he has on him, as far as you can tell right now, is that warglaive.
Mm-hmm.
and his armor seems light to the point of not qualifying as armor so much.
So he didn't come anywhere expecting a fight.
Or he's just good enough that he doesn't need armor.
True.
One or the other.
But yes, if it is simply that you wish to know of this fortress and its new inhabitants, surely I could introduce you to a few more of our guild,
I think
if that be what you wish.
I think that'd be a good idea. And of course, if you ever be wanting to speak on the spirits, you can find me at the Echo Isles.
Where are the Echo Isles?
You seen Doc Spear?
Like from what I know.
Yeah. So the Echo Isles are just off the eastern coast, the southeastern coast of Duratar. If you see Duratar right there on the map,
Yeah.
those small islands off to the bottom right,
Yeah.
that's the Echo Isles. Which would be right there.
Yes.
And it's probably a day from the fort. Like 8 hours ride. Less
A
than you
good
can
thing.
fly.
Yes. A good thing to keep in mind. Well, let's go ahead and, I suppose, introduce you. I'm not sure how many of our number will be here, and our number is still, as of yet, rather small, but...
He sort of nods and follows after, sort of as you approach the.
And also looking over to Brick, making sure, like, looking over to you in a way that sees, like, okay, if you think this is a terrible idea, tell me now, but...
He kind of just acknowledges that, yeah, I think he thinks it's fine. Because he doesn't think he's going to
I
cause
don't
trouble
think that
right
would
now,
help.
Unless, if something's going to happen, it's going to be if we start it.
Yeah.
Brick thinks he can take him.
No.
Brick might think he can fly away in time, maybe. Possibly. Assuming this isn't the kind of guy that could drop all of us in one round, which I don't doubt.
Maybe not that badly, but
I'm probably dealing with a 30th level character here.
let's not find out.
Precisely.
You're almost 10th level. Maybe you can, or you are 10th level. You
1,
can.
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
The four of you might be able to handle someone who's like CR 20 or so. It'd be a deadly fight, but. But.
You know, not until he adequately death traps this whole place out.
Yes. We're working on that sometime.
But you guys lead him into the fort, and he sort of follows after. As you get close, he hops off the raptor and gives it a sort of a pat on the nose, and sort of leans in and just whispers to it, and it stands there as he walks off. And he sort of follows after, and those of you that are still within the building hear the sound of footsteps stepping inside the main floor.
Shiana will go towards the footsteps.
So you step down the stairs and you see Leaf and Brick and a troll that you've not met before.
We have a guest.
What's his name again?
Vol'jin.
Right.
Oh,
VOL''JIN.
Shiana, this is Vol'jin of the Darkspear tribe. He was inspecting around here, seeing who the new people were that moved in.
She'll nod and approach cautiously.
Shiana, he says, looking over at you. Ah, I see fire in this one.
I am Shiana Flamecarver.
A good name, a strong name. Worthy are you.
Hmm?
I said worthy of you. He said worthy of you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
This place seen better days. Probably could use some work.
It's fallen into disrepair. It seems as though there hasn't really been much effort to upkeep it, if indeed at all.
Trolls don't need much. We used to harsh conditions. But a fort be best when it's in good repair. Maybe I send a few Darkspear over to help with the repairs.
If you would, that would be remarkably appreciated.
I think we can spare a few, even if the war chief cannot. Focused as he is on a war effort.
Noting that.
So eventually, either you run into me, right? I mean, I'm just going to be wandering around until.
Yeah, you guys
My perception checks are always terrible. I don't know what's going on.
You guys walk up the stairs and you see that Garrick is finishing on leveling off one of the walls, sort of like making everything, making sure that the taking down wall is clean and set up.
You.
Yes.
Surprised.
She has two
Right.
rooms. She has a
She asked.
No.
Garrick
joined
says.
room.
No, I have one room.
She has.
I see you collected unneeded bricks for use elsewhere.
Yes, very nice.
Very productive. Good.
She asked, and we can use the bricks.
So.
But yes. What? Do I really know anything specifically about the history of this fort, by the way?
Roll me history.
Whoops.
27. I looked it up.
17.
The fort has been around for probably a little over a decade. So, like, right about this time of the founding of Durotar. It was established as sort of a watch fort outside of Orgrimmar. Since Orgrimmar has been completed and its walls have been shored up, it hasn't been needed as much because the city itself is pretty well defended by itself. But it was originally used to sort of keep an eye out for roving centaur bands or quillboar raids before the orcs had successfully managed to lay claim to most of Durotar as a region.
So it's old.
It's pretty old, and you imagine a place like this would still be very useful for any military forces that managed to get within to Durotar. It would be able to spot them a while out.
Yes.
As you lead him around and introduce him to Garrick, he gives Garrick a nod, and eventually you lead him up to the war room at the very top, and he sort of sees the very sparse area. Ah, you could use a map table up here. I'd be providing one if you want it.
Well, we're not exactly in too much of a position to decline generosity right now.
And this be exactly that. I not be asking for a favor in return. But it'd be good if this fort gonna be occupied, that it be outfitted with what it needs. This was a place of defense. It ought to be again.
Indeed. It will be returned to its former glory in time.
If not better, hopefully.
If not, perhaps with more technological outfitting, courtesy of our goblin, I'm sure.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I hope he's not blowing anything up right now.
No, I'm up in the parapets.
He went off to do something. I really didn't care.
I'm
Well, I don't hear explosions.
Yet.
I mean, yeah, but it's still better than normal already.
Well, if you're up in the upper room, you'll look around and you'll see me on one of the walls.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
This troll sort of looks out the window.
using,
over there.
using mending
Oh,
quite often.
well, what do you know? Yes.
Little.
So, as far as this tower here, is this basically the only room on this level of the
And the upper level is just one.
on the topmost level?
Yeah, this is the only. The topmost level is one giant Century War room, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Because how far? Because I'm assuming you can basically probably see to the coast, or how far can it see?
Yeah, you can see to the South Fury River, and yeah, you can basically see to the coast. It's a good distance away, but there's not a lot of foliage to break up the line of sight. So, as high up as you are, you can see out to the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you can indeed even see it's way off in the distance, because not only is it far east, but it's also south. You can see the Echo Isles in the distance and the sort of the green spot they make on the horizon.
So those are the Echo Isles then?
That'd be them. The one spot of green off the coast of Durotar.
It is a little jarring.
It was a harsh fight to take them back.
What happened to... What do I remember... Or what happened to them?
History.
That's a 22.
It was something to do with internal troll conflicts. From what you understand, the island was taken over by a rogue troll who used some kind of dark magic to enslave a number of trolls to their will and took the islands away from the rest of the tribe. And then recently it was cleared back out, and then there was another fight against something else during the reclaiming as well. That wasn't just him. That wasn't just the renegade troll, but you don't know the specific details.
Interesting. But yes,
Of course, you have a troll here who probably does, if you wanted to ask him.
know about
The specific details of what happened, yes.
Yes. Can't say I'm terribly well versed in that particular conflict.
Well, first the island was lost to Zalazane, a witch doctor who made voodoo slaves of a number of the tribe's trolls. Then, when me and some others brought down Zalazane, not once but twice, when his spirit refused to stay down, we had to commend him to Bwansamdi. But even after that, you be too young to remember the journey from the Eastern Kingdoms. You weren't there.
No.
But when the Horde made its exodus from the Eastern Kingdoms, away from the enslavement of humans, they met the Dark Spear on the Dark Spear Isles. My father, Senjin, had been taken by the Murlocs of the Isles to be sacrificed to a sea witch, a powerful Naga woman. He died on those isles, but me and the rest of the trolls helped the war chief Troll escape as the isles were sunk beneath the sea by that sea witch. We brought her down, but her spirit came to hunt us on the Echo Isles, and we had to bring her down again, else she would have sunk our isles too. It was a hard fight, but the Echo Isles belong to the Dark Spear once again.
Do I know specifically how old Jagatal is?
No clue, but you suppose he's about your age.
I am curious. Were there any from the original islands that were submerged who perhaps survived?
Most of the tribe came here. Took up residence on the Echo Isles before Zalazane took them from us. And now reside there again, now that both Zalazane and the Sea Witch are gone.
Interesting. There is a member of our guild, doesn't talk much, well, doesn't talk at all, who is a Darkspear. I'm simply not sure of his past in any capacity, and, well, it's always interesting to learn more about the Darkspear.
I seen your friend.
He's running around building a scorpion pit for me.
He be interesting. He be lacking certain elements that make one a troll, but stronger in others. His survival, his hardiness, his will to fight, his ability to endure hardship, that be as troll as anything. But he lacked the connection to the lower, the understanding of what it takes to exist among the spirits, the connection to the trolls as a people. He be missing that, and that be a shame.
The only name I knew him by for a long time was indeed an insult.
Maybe one day he understand and be a true troll. Till then, he at least be a strong guardian.
I suspect he doesn't much care.
That be the truest of shames, but I not be in control of anyone's life.
Indeed. But yes, I suppose continuing to lead him through the building, sort of pointing out more of the rooms and all.
And he sort of explores everything. You got quite a lot of space around here. How many you thinking to house?
For now,
As many as we can fit.
As many as we can afford.
Mostly
we're
just
planning on
I mean,
expanding, finding as many able souls as possible. We've certainly run across plenty in our travels, plenty in Ogrimmar itself, who would perhaps be interested in joining us here. For now, we're essentially attempting to recruit anyone able. Or at least, not for now, but soon. When it's perhaps slightly more presentable.
Would the Soaring Fang happen to be looking for work?
We're always keeping an eye out for it.
I may potentially have a job or two for you.
Insight, what magnitude of work is he talking about here?
Roll me insight.
24.
Let's see.
And also, specifically, if seems like he's considering a bit too heavily on bigger things.
He's hard to read.
Yeah.
He's very hard to read.
I imagine the face paint doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. But he definitely seems to have been taking stock of your guild for a while considering what he might have for you.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably at least got some idea of your capabilities and what you might be able to handle.
Well, we are especially good at reconnaissance and special operations. It's most of what we did during our services, during our times of service in the military.
I think there be a couple of messages I think I might want you to carry for me. People I can trust who are willing to work outside the War Chief's preferred operations. He not be liking who these messages be going to. If you understand me.
I see.
As much as she be neutral, the War Chief not be liking that idea. I got a letter I want you to bring to the Lady of Terramore, Jaina Proudmoore.
That's dangerous.
Terramore be a neutral place. If you come open without threat, they be letting you in.
And if the war chief finds out, we'll be dead.
I want to try to make a wisdom check here to see what kind of a read I can get off of the energies of Bon Samdi that seem to be surrounding him. It was enough that I could just passively feel it, so I want to see if I can, I guess, roll insight on
Alola?
Yes.
Roll me your wisdom check.
Just raw wisdom?
Yeah.
10.
You have a hard time reading it. He is suffused with the energies, not just of one Samdi, though that is significant, but of a number of different Loa that you can pick up.
Can I try to take more time, like just passively during conversation, to take 10 or take 20 on this?
You can sort of, as you peer in, one Samdi is definitely strong in his essence that you can sense.
Dare I say it's the most prevalent?
Possibly, but it's definitely not the only one. You can sense more. There are a variety of different spirits whose names you don't know and identities you can't quite follow, that, especially without being taught of the nature of the Loa.
Yes.
That suffuse that seem to follow him like a cloak almost. Like the Loa constantly have their eyes on this shadow hunter.
So, as you said, she's a neutral party. What stops you from simply walking over there and giving the message yourself, or perhaps sending one of your scouts?
I all but openly threatened the War Chief at one point. His eyes always be upon me and the Dark Spear tribe. I need someone with less suspicion on them. Someone not being watched.
Give it to her.
Someone expendable.
That'd be a way of looking at it, but I don't like to spend lives. Every life taken be a sacrifice to one Samdi. And it not be time for you to die yet. One Samdi gonna have his fill, but not right now.
We get to know what the message is.
Consider it a repaying of a debt. She did a lot for the Horde, even if the War Chief don't remember it.
Do I know specifically what he might be referring to? History?
Yep, history.
Alright, that's 15.
There is a notable event in the Horde's history during the founding of Durotar, when Admiral Jaina Proudmoore's father, Dalen Proudmoore, who was the Grand Admiral of the human nation of Kultiras, rode in and took over her nation that she was founding here. He took over Theramore with his own troops and used it as a staging area to attack and wage war against the founding Horde, starting the nation of Durotar. And she assisted the Horde against her own father and actively helped them get into Theramore to kill him, when he refused to back down and surrender. She sided with the Horde against her own father. That's probably significant.
Yeah.
And since then, she's maintained a fairly neutral stance throughout a number of situations that would have turned a lesser woman against the Horde.
Yeah.
Her patience is strained constantly, which is probably, you understand, that's probably why she allows Alliance troops to stage in Theramore, but she has never taken a stance for the Alliance or against the Horde.
Putting a bit of a smile on my face. It is a large debt to repay.
I'd be hoping to make a small step, if nothing else.
I see.
And the other task is another message, but it be a slightly more difficult thing. I'll be asking you to find Rexar, the champion of the Horde, and give him another message for me. He be hard to track. The Beastmaster wanders.
Do I know anything about Rexar?
Another history.
We're rolling all sorts of history rolls today.
Oh yeah.
And that was not a good roll, but you know what? I've still got an 11 on it.
Rexar is a Machnathal. He's a half-ogre. And he fought a lot for the Horde during the founding and served as its champion in a number of manners, and was in fact the one to kill Dalen Proudmoore in combat. You don't know a lot about him, but you know he wanders. He prefers the wilds to the confines of a big city.
So you'd want us to track him down, see where he's been going, and get a message to him?
That be the case. Like I said, I need people who do not have the eyes of a war chief so fixed on them as my kind.
Indeed. Well, we can see what we'll do.
We'll talk about it. She'll lock eyes.
And I'll be asking this for free. And of course, even if you refuse, the aid I promise still be coming. But there'll be a reward in it for you. We can negotiate a price if you so desire.
Shall we talk over this?
Yes.
I believe so.
Right. If you could wait here, please.
Absolutely.
We'll go ahead and move over to,
We can go
Hey.
to my room.
yeah, a sufficiently different,
Venue.
at least a floor or two away.
Yeah, he just stays in the war room and sort of leans out and watches the horizon.
And I trust his honesty, but detect magic.
You don't sense anything aside from the lingering power that's always around him. But yeah,
Yes, but nothing in the room.
yeah.
When I was giving the last rites to Longstrider Koa, the body that we found, I stopped in the pools of vision, were they?
Yes.
Yes. And, well, I saw a vision. It was immediate. I was only there for probably less than a few minutes. And immediately I was contacted by the troll Loa of Death, Bonsamdi, whose presence I sense quite heavily on Vol'jin. He said something about soon actions that we would take soon, an opportunity to change the fate of many, many lives. He didn't say anything much more specific, as the spirits and the light are similar in being wont to act, but I can't believe it is simply coincidence that Vol'jin shows up now. This is something impactful. And frankly, I'm not sure which way it goes. the vision also included this Black Knight that we were chasing for so long.
Well, in the case of Vol'jin, I believe what he is saying is true. He truly has the best interest for the Horde in general.
But, and let's not mince words here, he's planning a coup.
Quite possibly.
Quite certainly.
I don't doubt that what he's saying isn't true, or that he's not a great guy, but if we get caught by the war chief, we will die.
I know. If we get caught anywhere, we die. That's the nature of our jobs. And I'm not immediately throwing in my support in this. I don't think it's exactly a closed secret that I'm not particularly fond of the Horde's current leadership. He's pulling us into a war that we don't need and that kills entirely too many people.
I don't trust him at all. Doesn't mean I want to die.
I know. But the question is, I don't want to replace him with someone who may do the same things or who will only make marginal changes. We know that Vol'jin says he doesn't want this war, but at what point is he going to get tired of border disputes? If I knew certainly that he was going to be good, that he was going to pull this war to a close, or at least do all that he could to stop it. If you asked me a year ago, I would have said that I wouldn't be willing to kill for that kind of end. I suppose you've been rubbing off on me. And I'll say that if it's to stop a war, there's not a whole lot that I wouldn't do.
I agree with you.
And specifically, thinking about my own family, and I'm sure you thinking about yours. What can I say? Selfish reasons. I can't win this war. But is it worth the risk? And my vote would be that it is, but that we need to, at the very least, I want to be inside this plan. Because the closer we are with as many of the moving pieces here as we can possibly be, the more chance we have of directing the machine wherever is best to move it. Because if we decline this, then the world passes us by. And frankly, given the nature of my vision, I think that's the wrong move. I don't think we can afford to not take this.
Alright.
Absolute worst case scenario, we can try to track down this champion, then say that it got too dangerous. Pull out of it. I don't think he'd have our heads for that.
No, I don't think you would have our heads up. Oh, are you talking about Warcraft or Vol'jin?
No, the other.
Well, either of them I would imagine, at least.
I don't think Vol'jin will hurt us.
Yes. So I think it's a matter of the fact that we can't afford to let this pass by.
Rick, what do you think?
It is quite a complicated situation.
What time of day is it right now?
Probably
Just got back
afternoon. Yeah.
afternoon sometime. I get a break for lunch then.
I picture you like on a construction site, you know, just like
Like sit down, pull out a lunchbox with a sandwich.
I'm gonna head back to my room, and I'll probably run into this guy out front. Or he's up.
He's up in the war room.
No,
You probably spot him from the wall.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't be paying that much attention. My perception channels are terrible. I don't even bother looking anymore.
I get the sense that even if we do refuse these 2 jobs, he won't give up on us trying to sway us to his side. So perhaps we could refuse these, and because he definitely has interest in us and in our position.
Or does he also have equal interest in other groups? If we decline this, will he find some other neutral guild? There are plenty of them. There are plenty of them who would be far more willing than us.
And
I think
another concern, Garrick says, if we do intend to be on the inside, as you say, Leaf, as much trust as possible will get us as much influence as possible. If we refuse this task, while he may not give up on us, he almost certainly will not trust us as much.
That is
That
true.
as well.
That is true.
As I said, I don't believe we can afford to let it pass.
all right. Let's do this. Someone want to get the little goblin thing down here?
I don't think he cares much about world politics. I think he just cares about mischief and money. We can assume he's in, but yes, I'll inform
He should
him.
at least know what he's getting himself into.
I'll let him know. We don't want you stabbing him around guests.
He's growing on me.
Like a fungus?
Yes.
I guess one thing to consider is what is our ultimate goal?
I think I've made mine fairly clear. I can't win this war. There's no side that can win that includes me. So I don't want this war at all. Anything that stops it, I'm completely behind. And I believe this is a possible chance at that. That's where I stand.
I care for what's best for the people of the Horde. And the War Chief is just one of many. As he said, it is just a position that could be filled up again.
Yes. And yourself?
I don't want to war either.
Yes.
I feel that no matter who wins, no one truly wins.
It is the nature of war.
Then let's tell Vol'jin as such. I'll go ahead and start moving back towards him.
You head back up to the war room, and he's still sort of leaning on the windows that sort of look out on the horizon, sort of looking down towards the Echo Isles.
I offer my hand out.
Turns,
We'll take the job.
extends the sort of large 3-fingered paw, and sort of grabs your hand and shakes it. Very well. I will bring you the messages tomorrow, along with some workers to get to restructuring your place while you're gone, bringing you relatively important implements and tools. All that you need to bring this place back up and running.
Thank you. Your generosity will not be forgotten.
Well, I best be going before any of the War Chief's spies decide I've been lingering in one place for too long.
We were just having a friendly conversation.
Of course. Always good to know who the neighbors are.
I nod.
Nods. Offers each of you the hand on heart salute. And heads out.
Is there a traditional, like, whatever a Zendali salute or farewell would be, I give? Because I know Zendali too.
Yep. So he.
So many languages.
8 languages. It's kind of great.
You're tripping over all the languages you have. There's just no room for them.
Yeah, I know the 4 major Horde languages and the 4 major Alliance languages.
Nice. So, he makes his way out, and you are left alone. Have anything else to do for the evening, or?
We, with receiving help, I would still prefer to try to keep that room that I mentioned a secret.
What room?
We're planning. Well,
In my studies, I am fairly close to fully understanding a way to teleport, to place a rune in a position, a familiar position, where we can return to that spot, assuming that I have enough magic within me. And I would like to have a hidden sanctuary within our fortress, so that we can come back home safely.
That would be very useful.
we've got the manpower. We can dig it out or build it ourselves.
A way to get back home quickly if we need to, after long journeys or jobs.
Avoid airships.
Avoid airships.
I don't think we're ever getting the troll on another airship.
Well, at least we may have to do it one way at least. But cutting the trips in half would be nice.
We'll have to knock him out, but
But yes, that is a thing that I would like for, at the very least, all of us to know and to leave it as such for the time being.
I'm going to go ahead and go find our goblin friend.
You walk across him. He's stopping for lunch, heading up to his room.
Yeah.
So,
Got the lunchbox.
so we've got a new mission.
hard hat, lunchbox.
It's it's from the 1960s. It's a Get Smart, not a lunchbox.
Sit on the roof and whistle at people.
What?
Yeah,
Cat call.
but not the one-armed people.
Smart? What is that? Some kind of a goblin sick? Whatever. We've recently gotten a new mission.
Oh, good. Where are we going?
Well,
We're going
partly we're figuring that out. But if anyone asks, we don't have a mission.
We're just going to take a little walk. Gotcha.
Let's just say,
Sightseeing.
and detect magic a little bit around.
Nope.
Nope.
Let's just say we're going to have to come up with a cover story. Because,
What cities we're going to? Or
you know, Jaina Proudmore, or at the very least, you should realize how human the name is. Sending a message to her.
okay. Ooh.
And also a message to a certain champion who hasn't been seen for a very long while.
Oh, we gotta find him.
Yep, and then we've got to get a message to him from Vol'jin, leader of the Dark Spear, on those islands over that direction.
Gotcha. I see.
So, yes, very important,
So-
big mission that may or may not possibly be a coup. We'll see.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, stay
Yeah.
tight-lipped about it, basically.
Gotcha. So we're going on a sightseeing tour.
Yes, a sightseeing tour. With probably a lot of money potentially to be made. So,
Gee, that's terrible.
yes, I know, it's the worst. I'm sure you can negotiate us to get less money. Don't know what you would do with more money.
All right.
But yes, that's the state of things. trying not to leave you totally in the dark. They'll come by with the message tomorrow, along with a bunch of help to get us building these things. So, if you could draw up, or if you already have some formal plans, we should probably come up with what we specifically want. They'll be working on it while we're gone.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Well, I started over there and I made it that far, but, Rick was going the other way. But we got a long way to go.
I can see.
You see, he drew all these little things on the wall. Those are fixed now.
Right. But yeah, so we should probably have a meeting and figure out exactly what it is that we want to do with this fortress.
What do you mean?
I presume most of their work will be restoring, but if we want anything else,
Well,
like perhaps if you want any holes in the wall to install strangeness.
no, we'll just have stuff up in the pyramids. And actually, I do have some plans from the war room in case we're up there and we need to come down to the walls to reinforce. We should make some zip lines down to the four corners. Never mind.
You can head up that plan when they're done restoring. So yeah, I guess we'll just go about whatever repair work we have. I'll go ahead and, also try to work on throwing together some makeshift, tapestries and flags and stuff for the base so we can start flying the Horde and the Soaring Fang.
Roll me tailoring. With agility.
Aw. 18.
18? Alright. Yeah, you can put up at least one main banner to hang off like the main door, and like a couple of extra like flag banners that you can put
This
up.
is something that I'll be working on long term.
Yeah. But you get started. You get at least one big one to put up like on the main entrance.
Because saving money on materials.
Yep. That one, like the materials for that one are probably like 5 gold worth.
Mm-hmm. For a real big old flag.
Yep.
Alright. Cool. So I guess we're just gonna wait until tomorrow on the message?
I'll be working on making repairs.
I have to make a list of repairs.
Like the 5 gold was for like a talking like huge banner that you can like hang down the front, like off the front, so that it's visible from a distance.
Yes.
For like regular like parapet flags, it'd be like 5 silver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, with the big old logo of the Horde and then the Soaring Fang right underneath it, because it's a nice long and squat design that can fit well with other things.
Yep.
Wasn't intentional when I was making it, but hey, you know what?
Yeah, you've got the Horde logo and then the Soaring Fang underneath, and it kind of frames the Horde logo really nicely.
Total coincidence, but you know what? I'm happy with it.
I cannot see the DM past Narwhal John. Narwhal John has to go away.
So, you all get a rest for the evening.
We get arrested for the evening?
Not yet!
Oh, wait, I'm gonna go to town.
Not yet, but it may happen soon.
Well, hey, you know what? If all of you guys get arrested and executed, I can still, run off and try to live in the Alliance. Maybe.
That green skin's a bit of a problem.
I'll wear a lot of makeup.
I had troubles.
Trouble?
I was just trying to
My
put
fingers are short.
No, like the glove started coming out of it.
You just gotta reach in and pull it down from underneath.
Magneton. Take your hand out first.
You have to be smarter than the glove.
Which I don't think I am.
Just be smarter than what you're working with here.
What is a glove's intelligence score?
Well, at least 3. That's pretty smart.
Hey, I got it! Okay.
It's an enchanted talking glove now?
Okay. There.
Those are enchanted talking glasses, thank you very much.
Okay, there. Got it.
You roll dice with those?
That's a
Kind of.
technological device you should make.
A dice roller?
No. Like the Google Glass.
Yes.
Like smart goggles that enhance your eyesight and they make witty remarks all the time.
With like just goggles with a slight intelligence score.
Just intelligent enough to make witty comments.
So a solid eye. but that makes comments.
I have
Precisely.
long fingers. By the
This
way.
is
I mean,
turning
I was
more and
thinking
more
more
into
Google Glass, complete with looking really dorky.
Okay.
You know, I'm just
The Goblin Glass.
I'm just trying to make this whole thing into Metal Gear. I mean, we're already building Mother Base.
Yeah. So,
I'm gonna build a gas mask on a bunch of a poison extractor.
what are we tinkering?
Are you my
Roll
mama?
tinkering.
Engineering.
Engineering.
With
Crap.
agility, because you know what these are. You just need to put them together.
With agility? Okay. 16.
Alright. You managed to make an amount of progress.
How much?
You make... Oh, so what was that result?
16.
16?
Yep. It was a low. Oh, I can use engineering point things.
Oh yeah, March of Progress.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you make 50 gold worth of progress, and you can use your engineering points to make more.
I can't coordinate in this thing.
Oh, okay, so if I use one engineering point of 25, is that it? Or,
I love how proud you are of yourself. So now Austin's on top of John. Man, John's gonna die. If Austin were on his shoulders.
I'm just seeing a majestic Murloc knight here.
Riding a narwhal into battle.
The Narwhal
Or at the very least
cavalry-
into an ice cream parlor.
The Narwhal cavalry has arrived.
So yeah, the March of Progress, yeah, each engineering point you spend is an extra 25 gold.
okay. So I can get one of those. Okay. I'll do that. So I've got one of those now. I need to make more of those later. Okay.
Would that put together one gas mask for
Yeah,
you?
I got one gas mask for it. So
Cool.
just to.
I rolled a one
What was it
with
plus?
this.
That was ominous.
Sometimes, like, one of them will wait for a minute and then...
Okay. That's it.
And you got 10 points to spend, I believe. So
Yeah, I got 10. Yeah,
you still have enough
right.
materials.
Because yeah, you can spend a point for 25 gold, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can
Well,
spend
if I-
you can spend as many points as you want to throw into it.
6, 9. If I use all 10 of them, I can make 3 masks.
This is just...
Maybe I should do that in case anybody needs one. That would be 225. Yeah. Okay. So I've got 3 of them.
So you put together 3 masks.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Actually, I should go into town to buy more materials anyway.
Is this comfortable in your elbow like this? Is this like digging into the side of my arm?
Feels fine to me.
Yeah, like it digs in right there.
Your arms are also a little bit broader than mine are. Like I have skinny arms.
They're a little chubbier.
I have skinny arms.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the power of being noodly.
Long rest.
But yes.
So you all get a long rest in.
Got it.
Oh, I mean, if you hold it like this, yes, it'll dig into your forearm. It's supposed to go on the outside.
Oh! Oh, wait. Where's the... Oh, okay.
Yeah, it covers your arm like that.
It's like-
Oh, I've got it on the wrong way. Oh!
Yeah, it covers your arm like that.
Yeah. So
Wow, imagine
it's-
elbowing someone like
Yeah.
this.
First,
Like-
you're imagining punching someone. You're just imagining physically abusing people.
Like with your
Do you
arm
not know me?
with your arm outstretched.
I mean, yes.
It should
but-
look like that. With the
Okay.
with like if your fist is held flat, it should be on the outside. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
Do you not know me, Zachary?
I
Have
mean,
you not been inside my mind?
no, I have not, because I have been very careful to limit my powers of telepathy in that department.
Anyway, so yeah, you all get a long rest in.
I went there once.
Who's up
Never
first in the
again.
morning?
What?
Who's up first in the morning?
I'm probably
know.
amongst the early ones.
Shiana's up pretty early.
I'm probably up pretty early
I've got
too.
a 15 on initiative.
Everyone's up early.
I mean, I'm a priest of the light. I feel like rising with the sun just makes sense.
Fair enough. It's close to mid morning, like probably about 10 or 11.
Ah!
When a number of trolls approach the begin to approach the fortress.
Shoot first, ask questions. Kidding.
Are they carrying a big table?
Yes, actually, there's 4 of them that are carrying a large heavy table, or like
I
that
hope they
have
have
sort
a
of
cart for that.
there's 6 of them that are just carrying it on their shoulders.
They're
I
trolls.
Well,
just
that
pictured, like,
sucks.
strapped to one of their backs.
One of them is a particularly large troll. Like it's a troll that looks about the size of an ogre,
I see.
which is unique. You've never seen a troll that big before.
Well, he's still at a distance. He might get smaller as he comes closer.
So I just walk up to him, and then there's this pan zoom effect. Or whatever. What's that zoom called? Like where everything
shock
else
zoomer.
changes, like where the
Oh,
perspective of everything
yeah.
else changes, but then
Right.
the one thing just stays the
He's
same.
same. Yeah.
Because like you zoom in while also increasing the field of view.
Yes.
I forget what that's called.
I wish I knew the answer for
I
you,
forgot.
Whatever.
John will know, but
but
anyway.
But yes, I'll go ahead and
and some other ones are driving carts that have like loads of lumber and stone and other building materials with them. But
Nice.
the table is just being carried by about 6 individuals.
cool.
One of which is very large, and seems to be lugging most of the weight.
I'll go ahead and move out there. I'll ask the goblin to follow me because he has the plans for everything.
Oh yeah.
Because you said you drafted those out.
Yeah, I drafted those out. Whatever.
And whoever else wants to follow, we'll go ahead and go out there.
I will go.
I'm following. I'm
Cool.
going out.
So a lot of us are going
Let's
out
go
there.
have a troll party. Shiana's a social person. Let's go socialize.
No. When they say, like interacting with people, they mean talking, not stabbing.
Yeah.
And they mean talking, not talking followed by stabbing.
Sometimes the stabbing can be followed by talking. And sometimes you can
The
do them at
talking
the
is-
same time if you're very skilled.
Right. Stab first, ask questions while stabbing.
Yes.
Anyway.
Good morrow, nerds.
I move out there to whoever looks
welcome
like
to-
a leader sort. I will intentionally walk a little bit ahead of the goblin. And thankfully I have longer legs so I can do that.
I engage my boots and I run in front of him.
Ting 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 ting.
You have higher strength than me too, so I wouldn't even be able to properly hold you back. Whatever. So I walk up there. Does there look like there's a leader of sorts?
Yeah, there's definitely a troll who seems to be sort of leading the group. He's sort of walking ahead of everyone.
I'll go ahead and extend a greeting in Zandali. You must be the men that Vol'jin sent.
Yeah. And the lead troll, who's got sort of like an eye patch on his right eye and this sort of like this sort of wildly sort of reddish pink mane of hair that just goes back into a series of braids, and wearing this leather armor that's bedecked with some bones for decoration, sort of looks at you and nods and offers a salute. Yes, I be Uruzin, quartermaster of the Dark Spears, and I be overseeing these efforts to bring your fortress up to speed.
Indeed, we thank you tremendously for the aid.
Your war room at the top, right?
Yes, indeed it is.
Way up there.
Kalarak, bring it up. Careful now. Mind the stairs, he says to the massive troll. And as you look, yeah, this troll is considered a large-sized creature mechanically.
As he moves past, I'd go ahead and spare him a casting of guidance to help with the strength checks.
The troll sort of, the largest of the trolls got it like over his shoulders and is sort of lumbering like this, while the other trolls have their hands up like under it, sort of helping to lift.
Or maybe perhaps for the dexterity checks of getting it up the stairs instead. But
They died. That's not good.
Ray's dead. Ray's dead.
Revivify. It's been less than a minute.
Yeah, I can cast that now. It's fancy.
So you sort of follow them up, and the large troll sort of lumbers his way out the stairs. Fortunately, the staircase is large enough to fit like 4 abreast. So
yes, it is kind of a fortress.
yeah. So he helps lumber his way up to the top with the war table. All right, Uruzin says as they disappear inside. Any special requests? Also, he says, reaching inside his vest and pulling out a pair of letters. One is sealed with red wax. The other one with gray. This one, he says, holding out the gray letter, be for the Lady of Terramore. This one, he says, holding out the red letter, be for the champion.
Got it. And I believe most of the plans are simply restorations of what we have, but we have compiled something of a list of blueprints here.
Just hand over the stuff, and he kind of has a list of things where we were starting to work on stuff, and just some of the stuff that still needs to be done. They can figure out all the stuff themselves, though. I mean, I say that, you can just do what you can, and we appreciate the assistance.
All right. I'll be working on it. It'll be a couple of weeks before we're done, but we'll keep it moving. This place will be set to be a real fortress in no time.
Once again, we are greatly appreciative.
Right. Dark Spear always assist the Horde.
So it was the red one for the champion and the gray one for
the lady.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't mix them up.
Which? That's so bad. Which one was for which?
Red for the champion.
The gray
Gray
lady
for
and the red
champion.
It's red for the champion. He's red for the champion. And I'm writing that down.
Now I
gray
can't
lady.
see Rudy anymore.
It protects me.
They're gonna fall.
Ah!
Told you.
Dang it, Revivify's expensive,
Sorry. I like being able to look at the people I'm talking to at the table, though. And no offense, but John and Austin are currently represented by stuffed animals. They're not living. Like Austin and John are, but these aren't.
I would be concerned.
I thought you said Austin was a robot. Is he a cyborg now?
He's a cyborg. Well, actually, he's not.
Oh, yeah, he's not technically a
They
cyborg anymore.
took it out, so he's not.
Oh, they take it out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they took it out a couple weeks ago.
What happens when you take the augments out of a cyborg?
It depends on what the augments are. Either it sucks or you're dead.
Anyone watching is probably extremely confused right now.
My brother's a cyborg. That's all the explanation needed.
He's not
He
anymore.
was a cyborg.
He's an ex-cyborg.
He can no longer use his pickup line.
That was a bad pickup line in the first place.
I don't want to know.
Anyway,
Are we leaving?
are you guys heading out?
We should head out. Are we gonna take a
We'll deliver these messages with all haste.
You still have skeletal war horses. If you need mounts that don't rest.
Grays for the champion?
Gray. Is
Reds
the
for the
lady.
champion.
Red
Red
like
lady.
blood. Right.
Yeah.
Blood.
Champion, yeah.
Horde color.
Yes,
Gray.
red for horde, gray for neutral. Because, you know,
Gray is for Jaina because she is dull.
because it's neither red nor blue, because it's a neutral party.
I'm gonna go with my answer.
As long as you don't say it while we're in
In
front of anyone, basically.
Yes, we're keeping this quiet anyway, so
Alright.
I'm not going to be skipping down the road saying we're off to see Jaina.
We're off to see the wizard of Theramore.
I say we
I would never do that. I don't skip.
search for the when we're away and sort of talking privately. I say we search for the champion first. What was the champion's name again?
Rexar.
Rexar, that's right.
Drop. Oh. Yeah. That's an idea.
Or we could
Does
head
Jaina-
towards Jaina and on our
'Cause
way
we know-
search for the champion.
Well, here's the thing. I believe that delivering a message to Theramore is going to be a lot more questionable than trying to search up some old champion of the Horde. So,
So we live now, we get killed later.
Yes.
Gotcha.
We get the first one delivered and then we
And then
Yeah,
we
we-
die
we-
horribly.
we look up things in Ogremar about this champion while we're still a little bit more confident about doing so.
Yes. And we're just on a little quest.
Plus, if we go to Ogremar first, we can say that it's whatever mission we want to say it is after we...
Aren't we just
Get to
outside of
Theramore.
Overmar?
Yes.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
on the walls of Ogremar. So yeah. Go to Ogremar. If we ever need a story, we
cool.
just say we got a mission there.
What's the name of this champion?
Rexar.
Rexar.
How much do I know
Sounds like
about
a drugstore.
Rexar myself as to where I might find him? Roll history?
You know that when the Burning Legion invaded from Outland and opened the Dark Portal again, he went through. You don't know where he's went since he came back, because presumably he came back rather than staying in Outland.
Mm-hmm.
Out. Twitch
Cool.
out.
So I guess we're gonna go. I'll go to the city and try to do what passes for gather information here.
Investigation.
Investigation.
Yeah, try to.
Which, in the case of trying to get it from people, you can roll it with your charisma.
My intelligence is better.
Either or.
So it's mine.
Whichever you desire.
I will attempt.
Ooh, that was close to a 20, but this wasn't.
You can also attempt a
12.
persuasion check, or if you want any social check that might be better.
I'll try that later if this fails. 17.
I only got 12 on that one.
17. So, asking around, you know that prior to the opening of the Dark Portal, he tended to patrol around. He wandered a bit, but he was sort of wandering around Desolus and Feralas, trying to help keep the Black Dragons at bay around the area, trying to keep everything in line around that, around nature in those two regions. And you find out that he went into Outland and was last seen in Orgrimmar during the Cataclysm. Like, as the elements were raging, he was assisting with protecting Orgrimmar from raging elementals. He started wandering again since then. So you know he's somewhere on Azeroth. Likely guesses, as far as everyone is concerned, are places where the unrest of the Cataclysm is significant, like areas where the wilds have been significantly thrown out of whack by the Cataclysm, which sort of lends you to possibly either like back in Desolace there's been some major upheaval. Thousand Needles probably not so much, just because it's just flooded. It's not necessarily wild or destroyed. Maybe somewhere in Ashenvale there's been a lot of unrest in the Night Elf lands. But other than that, you're looking for a half ogre.
Yeah.
You know he has a bear that he travels with. And a wyvern.
Mm-hmm.
And a boar. And a hawk. And a wolf. And a second wolf.
Travels with bear and other beasts.
Griffin.
Yeah,
That's a lot of stuff.
the reason he's called, Beastmaster and all. So... How far is Desolace?
Yeah, it is... If I can get this right... That place.
Okay, so it's basically on the other side of
the continent, yeah.
But not the long ways.
Not the long way, just the width way.
Okay, how far would that be, roughly?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Maybe we should go to the other place first, just for the sake that it would be faster.
Yeah, because Theramore is just right there.
Drop that off and then head out.
Especially if you can get a boat, you can get there much faster.
Hard to get a boat, but yeah. Suppose we can do that. I'm also going to check, like, whatever mission postings there may be, or trying to get, general word around of open missions.
Oh, yeah. You say we're going to one of the missions that would be a good idea for...
What kind of missions are you looking for?
Stuff that lets us travel.
Ideally, yes. Stuff with indeterminate locations, stuff near Theramore, stuff near Desolace.
Okay. Roll me investigation again, real quick.
21.
You don't stay in my
10.
Investigating? Oh.
I don't know what I'm investigating.
You
But you figured something out, sure.
I use these for running.
So, Brackenwall Village and the Dustwallow Marsh, which is the marsh outside of Theramore, is requesting a bit of aid from the Stone Mall clan, which is the only the only ogre clan to actually officially join the Horde. The Stone Mall Village, the ogre lord Mokmorok is looking for Horde warriors to assist in Brackenwall Village.
Mm. Cool. Alright. So,
Or say we're doing that, and then
Yeah.
hand a letter off.
Sorry, I was checking.
Okay,
so
what
it
happened.
looks like Rexar is going to be extremely hard to find. We may
Couple
want to
weeks.
pursue our other objective first instead.
Alright.
So we check the board to see different
We give her
different
the
jobs. We give her the yellow one, okay?
I just like to make that look on Leaf's face. I can still see
That's
it.
helpful.
Also, does Leaf have a balaclava?
No. Well, you see, we're on a stealth mission, so...
Leaf sews a balaclava for himself.
No.
Now again, I'm just gonna make this into Metal Gear. You make the Octo mask.
Anyway.
You just make the whole suit. You just
I mean, tailoring and a little bit of techno magic. Maybe some kind of...
What do you want to do?
Power suit is totally in the cards for me.
Oh, you're petting the dog. I thought you were whispering into the air. Okay.
I need to figure out what a power suit would look like for me, and I need to make one. Okay, now that I'm inspired,
Okay.
we're going to go ahead and head off, I suppose.
Alright.
Do we want to try to get a ship?
It'd probably be easier. We can, I don't know, put the troll on a leash.
Hold on.
Just knock the troll out. Whack.
You just give him some herbs or something, and
Alright, let's go.
When you say herbs.
I mean, you know.
Hey Baraka, have some milk.
Here. Garrick. Let's go.
Alright.
How much is passage to... That's not that far for the first bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking to get a ship to Theramore, you're probably going to want to hire a neutral ship. Which
Yeah.
means you're probably going to want to take a ship to Ratchet first.
Right.
Yes.
Because Ratchet's a neutral port. So a ship from Orgrimmar to Ratchet is going to be like a gold piece a passenger. It's a short trip.
Okay.
And we can save one gold piece by bringing our troll as cargo.
I have a carry-on I need to check.
We should worry about his carry-ons.
Yeah, I'm actually considering not taking all the bulk, because I don't want to take the cart, and I don't... For a long trip, I don't want to put that much phlogiston into the suit.
Can't you power with magic?
I can, but it takes all my... Let's see. 10, 3... It takes a lot of my slots for the day, though.
Strictly speaking, you only need to put a spell slot into it when you need to power it. Like,
Yeah, but I don't... I mean, I was trying to figure out how to not have the whole cart and the... Because that's... Oh, what do you want? I don't know.
a phlogiston extractor might be a good thing to put together for the base, because those need to be
Yeah.
stationary.
Right, I know. They cost a lot.
Yeah, but they pay for themselves.
I know they will eventually, right? I haven't had time to do that yet.
Maybe with the bounty money from whatever this ends up getting us.
Anyway, so if I don't even take the suit at all, I might have enough to work with without. I got all my other junk, but I gotta carry all my gear too.
You're a pack rat.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think if I can do this. I probably can. If I just travel without my suit this time. Kind of dangerous, isn't it? Leave a bunch of my gold at home, too. Then I won't have the the cart and the Kodo and all that stuff.
I mean, I'm not bothering with gold weight, so.
Yeah, I know. I can leave a bunch of this at home though, because I mean,
We'll say you have your magical goblin credit card.
no.
He never leaves the Goblin Cape without it.
Ah, the bat credit card.
Oh. Oh.
That movie.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, which movie?
The
Batman
Batman and Robin.
I watched that movie and I don't recall that.
It was the scene where both of them were fighting for poison ivy.
That's bad.
That's right. Still have seen it. It was.
When I say bad, it's amazing.
It was amazing.
Oh.
So great.
Oh.
Was that an Adam West movie?
No,
No.
It wasn't Adam West.
It was
was
George Clooney.
yeah, it was George Clooney.
George Clooney as Batman.
Hmm. With the little plastic, like, nipples on the suit. That's the infamous one for that.
Oh.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Freeze.
With all the ice cream.
Chill out.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Oh!
Because, you know, those movies were made for the sole purpose of making as many ice puns and plant innuendos as possible.
Yeah, that movie ended like the 90s Batman movies that they were doing.
It was so bad it was good.
But it was bad.
So,
Yeah.
booking charters on a ship towards Ratchet.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Okay, it was
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and cargo.
Sure. Roll me a
Carry
persuasion.
on.
Roll me a persuasion check to hack that.
Oh, I can do that.
You get advantage, don't you? Because you're haggling.
Yeah, because you're haggling. You get advantage.
Actually, you know, wait. I'll give you a plus 1d4 on it.
A 1d4 on that too.
So the 11 plus a d4
11 plus
plus your
plus
persuasion.
my 9 plus 2.
So
11, 22.
20. Yeah, 22.
The light compels you to haggle.
Yeah, all right. You managed to hack that. 5 gold for 6 people because one of them's cargo.
All right, there we go. I'll go ahead and take that. I hand over 5 gold.
Yep. It's a couple hours down to Ratchet from the Blade Fist Bay. So a couple hours pass, you make it to Ratchet, and then from Ratchet, a ship to Theramore, which would be there by nightfall. It'd be a slightly longer trip. Would probably be 3 gold each.
So now we're saving 3 gold.
You would like to make another persuasion check to try and hack.
All right. Yeah, okay, same thing.
I'll go ahead and roll the d4, I guess.
Okay. 19.
Call that a 20.
Yeah.
Not a natch 20,
Plus,
just
so
1.
plus 1.
Plus 9.
So 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, you managed to convince them that the troll is still cargo.
Technically, who cares?
Because either, you know, we knock him out and drag him on, or we count him as a pet, because...
Roll it again, you might get a natural 20.
Oh.
Just to see.
No,
It wasn't, okay.
No. Anyway.
So. Yeah, as night is falling.
If it was a natural 20, would we be able to call him cargo?
I'm the one haggling. Then you pick me up and stuff me in a trunk.
So.
She picks me up and stuffs me in a trunk.
Just throw you off the side.
So several hours pass, and it
You have
is.
a child in that suitcase.
No.
Not mine. Don't worry, it's not mine.
It's not mine. Alliance.
What was the?
Wait, are we there yet?
You see, we're simulating seasickness of the journey by sickening everyone with bad puns and references.
So yeah, it is about nightfall when the ship is pulling into dock at Theramore. And as you arrive,
I'm going to also continue being a little bit paranoid with detect magic mode throughout everything.
fair enough. But the ship pulls into the dock, and Theramore is it's a small circular city. There's a circular wall that surrounds the external area of the city, with sort of large towers at certain regular intervals. There's a large bridge that connects the island itself to the mainland, and a series of water channels that can be used to ferry ships in and out, and a series an extra maze of walls to serve as an even further outer level of protection. And as the ship docks and each of you disembark, you are met at the dock by a human captain in full armor with the tabard of Theramore, which is a gray tabard with the silver anchor, or not silver, a golden anchor on the chest, which is the symbol of the city of Theramore. And the guard just sort of waves for the group of you to hold, and he sort of takes his helmet off, puts it under his arm, and approaches. What brings the group of you to Theramore? It's not often that we get a group of Horde members in our fair city.
Indeed, we are here to deliver a message. I hold up the envelope for a second.
Can I ask to whom?
We are delivering this message to Jaina Proudmoore herself.
Indeed. Well, I am Commander Samal, and I will take you there personally.
Of course.
And he sort of turns and issues a hand signal, and about 5 more guards sort of form up. Follow me.
I follow along.
You'll understand if we want to keep security tight when Horde members are entering.
I would expect nothing less.
Understand.
Especially when they wish to speak to the lady.
Yes.
If anything, the security certainly reassures me.
So.
They bind and gag you and carry you.
What?
It's a joke.
We're surrounded by guards. So
Why?
Because they're escorting us specifically
So where would you
to
go?
Jaina Proudmoore.
Oh,
Because, we're a bunch of Horde members around a bunch of humans.
so they know we're coming to see her.
Yes.
Yes, the whole take me to your leader shtick.
Yep.
Awesome.
We couldn't exactly do it secretly. We came in on a boat.
Awesome. I feel totally comfortable with this. Let's do it.
Well, you know what? Just,
What?
She doesn't know what.
how well do you actually manage to hide your irritation? Because I'm half considering a compliment for a spell.
A spell? Oh, well.
She'll go peacefully. She's not happy or comfortable about it, but
Alright.
She's the only one.
don't you put any spells on her. She'll kill you.
After the spell was
After it wears off,
After it
she'll
wears
kill
off.
you.
Alright, let's go ahead and get this done.
Alright, so the guard formation leads you up towards the central tower that's dead center in the middle of Theramore.
They also don't know who the message is from or anything about it, so.
So, as you're led up the stairs, a night elf woman stands out front. She's tall and slender with a long blue braid that sort of stretches down to like mid back, and she's got these angular markings that a lot of night elves wear as sort of tattoos on their face. Her silver eye sort of following your group as you approach, as she holds this elegant sword in her offhand. Captain Samuel, what are these horde members doing here? The commander sort of looks up, nods. Lady Pained. We have a group of messengers for Lady Proudmoore. The night elf sort of looks over the group of you. Understand that if you threaten my lady, I will kill you before you have the chance to move.
We expected nothing less.
Commander, you may return to your duties. Take your guards with you. He sort of looks concerned for a second and then nods and signals for the rest of the guards to turn and head off. Follow me. And this night elf is in full plate, which is unusual for night elves. You don't typically see night elves wearing heavy armor. But she wears it well and doesn't even seem to be remotely hindered by its weight as she leads you inside the tower. And on the inside...
Gosh, heavy armor on a race that gains dexterity? How suboptimal.
But as you enter, the interior of the tower is actually kind of cozy. As you step inside, it's a cool environment, and the floors are upholstered in nice wood. There's variety, like every wall is lined with bookshelves. And there's a staircase that leads up. There's a small table that's been set out for someone to eat on that seems to have been cleaned up recently, like someone just recently finished their meal. There's a nice warm light suffusing in from the windows, and there's the scent of incense and candles in the air. As Pained leads you up the stairs, she calls out, "My lady, you have guests from the Horde." And you hear a human woman's voice call out, "Of course, Paint, bring them up." And a few moments later, you are led up to what seems to be the top floor of the tower. And turning to greet you is a human woman, tall and sort of lean, but definitely of a healthy build, with sort of long, flowing golden hair that is just sort of left about the shoulders, with these sort of crystal blue eyes, just faintly tanned skin just from the constant sun of this area, wearing a long, sort of flowing white dress with purple accents and gold trim. With a purplish hood over her shoulder, resting on her shoulders with the hood down, with a long iron staff with a crystal inset in the top, in her right hand as she turns to greet the group of you. "I am Lady Jaina Proudmoore. I hear that you've come to speak with me."
We have a message. I hold up the envelope. We are simply the messengers in this case. It is from Vol'jin of the Darkspear tribe.
Vol'jin? I haven't spoken to him in a long while.
Indeed. He mentioned something about repaying a debt.
She extends a hand. Takes it, opens the letter, pulls it out, starts to read. It's from Bane. Okay.
Bane. When she says Bane, do I know what that's referring to?
The only Bane that you know of is Bane Bloodhoof, chieftain of the Tauren.
Oh. He was also one of those ones that didn't really like...
I mean, Garrosh killed his father, literally.
Yes. Yes. Hey, we just talked to him.
And she sort of reads over it for a minute and sort of looks it up and down.
Insight?
Sure.
Like, just curious if she was surprised by this, or... Not a good roll, but have a high enough bonus that maybe a 12.
Yeah.
She's hard to read. Like even when she's sort of like in the middle of reading a letter, she's very composed.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that you manage to pick out is just a slight furrow of her brow that seems to indicate that she's thinking, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she sort of nods after finishing the letter, folds it up and throws it into the nearby fireplace as the fire starts to claim it. And then she sort of walks over to a desk and starts to write down another letter. She looks up at the group of you. Thank you for your message. I appreciate the update. I'll have to get this letter to young Anduin as soon as I can.
Then you already have your own means of sending the reply?
Yes, I should be able to send it just fine.
Alright.
And tell Vol'jin, thank you for the quick message.
Indeed.
Okay. We head off.
Can I send you anywhere on your way?
Have you heard of anything about where Rexar has been as of late?
Heard no, but I could attempt to scry on him and find him for you if you'd like.
That would be
It
helpful.
would make our mission far more expedient.
Certainly. Give me one moment, she says, and she sort of walks over across the room and sort of grabs a small bowl off of a shelf, sets it down on one of the tables, walks over to another shelf, a cabinet, opens it up and pulls out some kind of liquid in a bottle, pulls the cork out of it, pours it into the bowl until it starts to fill up. She brings her staff back over to her and begins to work some arcane hand signals and mutter a spell over the bowl itself and stares into it. And she sort of pauses for a moment. It looks like he's in the crater west of Tanaris. Ungoro, I believe it's called. I can see the massive overgrown foliage that is unique to the area. Definitely a dangerous place. Well known for its overgrown wildlife and large... It's one of the few places on Kalandor where there are still large dinosaurs.
Yay!
Definitely sounds like a place he would be.
I've heard of elemental unrest in the area. That might have caused attention.
Indeed. How far is that from us?
It is that green spot right there.
Sweet, so we're basically already on our way over there.
Yep.
Good.
Well then, I suppose any good port near there.
Gadgetzan would be the nearest port, if you'd like me to send you there.
If you would, it would be much appreciated.
Certainly. That's one of the locations that still has active... Yes, I can do that. And she sort of brings her hands together and sort of weaves and opens up, and a portal appears before you. Go on.
Joe.
You have our thanks.
Of course, and you have mine for delivering this message.
Indeed. May the light guide you.
She sort of looks surprised at that for a second, and then gives you a slight nod. The light be with you as well.
That's
I move into the portal.
And you all step through, and you find yourselves once more in the blistering heat of Tanaris, in the goblin city of Gadgetzan.
Yay, Gadgetzan. I'm gonna have fun. We need to rest tonight, right? I need to find a bar.
That was not comfortable for me.
Well,
I made sure to hold my tongue the whole time.
Well, good.
I'm not exactly comfortable on missions around stabbing people.
Well.
You can roll me a history check, real quick.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. No, I can't. 10. Is this something I can take 10 on?
Roll me again. Just because.
15.
Oh, it was lower than what I rolled. The name she said she was writing a letter to Anduin. That is the name of... The only Anduin you can think of significance is Prince Anduin Rin, son of King Varian Rin of Stormwind.
Yep. Okay then. I'll log that.
Which you were the one that was able to roll that because you're familiar with the Alliance.
I know what all this is.
Just
nice.
Alrighty then.
So, you have emerging Gadget Zan, and you've got a desert between you and Ungoro, but, you know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So. You want to rest for the night or whatever?
It's nighttime, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nighttime at this point.
We'll go ahead and find some place to rest then.
Yeah, start searching.
Cool.
Is there anywhere?
I don't want to know why you want to find a bar. If he starts trying to go off on his own, I'll follow him.
Stealth?
I'll just straight up start following you. So you actively trying to, like, step away from me as I'm walking alongside you? And using...
24 to stealth
He
away
is a
from
goblin.
me. 24 to stealth away. Ooh, could be a little bit of competition.
3, 4, 7... 24. I have a +7 to perception, sir. I just roll a 17.
I rolled an 18. I only got a +6.
So,
Gasp.
you are unfortunately unable to quite lose him.
That's okay. I'll lead him to the bar anyway.
Yeah, so you
So you start vanishing into a crowd, but then you just feel a hand on your shoulder.
as you make your way.
Where are you trying to go?
I'm just going to the bar.
I'll go to the bar. I'm not going to the bar. I can easily disappear
Hi.
if I want to.
So, yeah, you make your way to one of the bars.
Okay, yeah, he's following me for some reason.
Yep.
Because I'm slightly worried about your enthusiasm for this.
Shiana will come.
Okay.
I'm just going to kind of, you know, enter a little bit later, you know. Get, yeah.
I'm just gonna look around, see what's going on. If anybody's like, I don't know, if anybody's playing cards or anything.
Well, you step into the Road Warrior Inn.
Okay, Road Warrior.
And the it's a large open room. It's sort of a one room tavern. And it is like there's a series of long tables set up, sort of like galley style, with a couple of gnome and goblin waitresses that sort of walk through the crowd and take orders, get drinks, get food. and there's just like a series of hammocks and beds set up on all the on the outsides of the room for people to collapse into when they're tired.
Okay. I just go. I don't know. I look the place over just to see what kind of patrons there are. Mostly goblin and gnome.
It's a lot of travelers actually,
A lot of travelers.
because a lot of the goblins and gnomes that live here work here and have a home here. So a lot of the people that are in the bar right now, there's a few humans, some dwarves, some orcs, some trolls. It's a wide variety,
Okay.
and you can tell that there's always a couple of goblin bruisers around to keep things from getting too rowdy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh no.
Any card games going on?
There's a few.
I'm just gonna go sit near where I can hear some of these people at a card game just to see how things are going.
There's some regular gambling card games going on. Your sort of like your Monte, your Rummy, your poker. There's also a few people who are playing a more adventurous card game by the name of Hearthstone. That's
Sure.
happening around here.
I'm gonna go near with some of the poker. Anything that looks a little more high stakes, like there's a lot of money on the table.
There's a roll me a perception check.
Does he get advantage because he can smell money?
6.
Sure, roll me with advantage just because you're looking specifically for a gambling game.
Okay. 18.
All right. So your friend made a good argument for you. So you look around, and you eventually manage to notice that there's one card game that's going on that has about 4 or 5 people at it. There is a Forsaken with a monocle on, and this sort of very well upholstered suit that seems to be fitted to him despite him being undead. And he's got this sort of like very long but sort of stuck to the back of his head layer of black hair. His jaw still sort of attached on properly. And he's sort of got this large stack of gold coins in front of him. He seems to have been winning basically all night from this group of orcs and a couple of humans who are getting increasingly frustrated with his constant winning, but he doesn't seem to be remotely threatened by the people who are here.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit nearby and have a drink for a little while and just kind of listen in. What's going on?
As I notice him sitting down somewhere, I'll go ahead and get some food as well and be around there.
One of the goblin waitresses sort of walks up. Can I get you a drink with that too, hon?
Not for now. Bit too tired for that.
All right. Let me know if you want anything.
I'll have a drink.
Sure. What can I get you?
What do you have?
Well, we got the local special. You want a Mex on the beach?
Sure.
Sure. I kid you not. The local specialty of the Road Warrior is called a Mex on the beach.
If it doesn't come served with like a little gear serving the spot of a lemon wedge, I will be disappointed.
It's served in a cup that looks like an oil drum.
Close enough. Is it actual oil intended for the mechs themselves?
No. It is sort of like it's a dark rum that's like mixed with sort of like a honey, so that it becomes a little bit more syrupy as a drink. So it's a little bit thicker, so it looks like oil, but it's actually just sort of like a spice rum, like a thick, like almost molasses-like spice rum. It's sort of like drinking a Jello shot.
Okay.
Ever since I heard that one of the side effects of noggin fogger elixir is potential instantaneous death, I haven't really much been interested in getting a drink here. Your funeral.
No?
Tastes good.
Hey, I'll throw you a nice one.
Tastes pretty alright, honestly.
It looks interesting. I'll try some.
You get a Mex on the beach?
Yep.
It's like 3 copper for a mug.
Alright,
So
I'll have one.
yeah, it's a very thick, syrupy. It looks and has the consistency of oil, but it tastes like a pretty good rum.
Pretty good.
Trouble with your face.
Not bad.
It's
She'll get a second.
it's an interesting mixed drink.
Shannon will probably end up getting a couple.
So you guys get some drinks.
Oh no. Drunken Shiana is something I don't want to know about. Because I feel like you might be a stabby drunk.
I feel like at one point she just comes over to Leaf with like this line of shot glasses. All right, we're doing shots.
Look, when I said your funeral, I meant that I'll deal with your funeral. Not anybody else's, alright?
Roll me a stamina save.
Okay.
I had a D4 to it.
What am I adding? Just my stamina? on
Yeah,
this?
and your proficiency if you're proficient in the save, but I don't think you are.
You said +4?
Plus a D... Hold on. Plus 3.
Okay. That's 21.
21. Okay, you can hold your alcohol all right.
Okay. She'll keep going
You'll
at
eventually
it.
get drunk if you keep drinking, but you know.
Oh yeah, no. She'll keep going at it. It's been a while since she's done this.
Gotten drunk.
Yeah.
Wait, have I seen
It's happened
your
once
character
before.
drunk
No.
specifically?
No. No, it's happened once before when she was younger.
What kind of a drunk are you?
We're gonna find out.
I don't know if I want to find out.
And they have other drinks too. They got your standard like dwarven ale. They've got your elven wine, but their specialty is the mixed drink that they call Mex on the beach.
She'll probably get like a variety
Yeah.
throughout the evening of different drinks.
As Leaf goes ahead and looks up on Holy Light Google, does calm emotions work on drunkenness?
Nope.
Holy my Google.
Like I said, the only thing stopping me from making, a Holy Light phone is finding a good pun for it.
Yeah. Calm emotions does not work on being drunk. That would require a restoration spell.
Okay, hold on. Looking for my spells.
I believe you have lesser restoration as is one of your spells.
I need to see if I swapped it. Oh yeah, it's a domain spell. Alright, cool. If something goes terribly wrong, lesser restoration, calm emotions. Cool. As long as I know I've got a panic button. As long as I know I've got a panic button, it's better to know now than later.
You don't know. She could be a very calm drunk.
Yes,
She could be.
she could be. Or she could be a stabby drunk, and the only reason I haven't learned about it is because all the witnesses are dead.
So what are you up to?
Okay. I'm gonna pull a card out of my deck of cards. Okay. I'm pulling out and I'm gonna lose an 8 of diamonds.
Okay.
I'm gonna palm it. Make sure it's well hidden. 16?
On sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Okay.
slide it up into your sleeve.
So I just, when I'm done with my drink, I'm just gonna mosey around behind where
I want to keep an eye on where he's going to.
the undead guy.
You can only watch one person at a time. Who are you watching?
You're going to be sober for just a little bit long. I'm just going to kind of peek over there, detect magic, see if there's any trickery going on at that table.
There is an enchantment on the Forsaken's eyepiece. Some kind.
Anyway, I'm just gonna. On my
I'm
way
going to go
out-
ahead.
On my way
You know
out,
what? You know what?
On my way out, I'm going to walk by that table, and I'm gonna.
Dang, I don't have sending.
I'm just gonna reach down next to this guy, pull the card out of my hand, throw it on the table, and keep walking.
Roll me a deception check.
Where's my dice? Okay. This better be good. Yes, 20.
Are you trying to start a fight here?
No, well, yeah, almost. I just want to see what happens. Just kind of make it look really suspicious.
Since I'm glancing over there briefly, can I make a spot check, see if I see that?
Rolling perception.
Sweet. 22.
You definitely see the goblin pick up a card off the ground and put it on the table. And one of the orcs at the table immediately picks it up and sort of starts like looking at the Forsaken, and you see an argument beginning to brew. And the orc is accusing the Forsaken of cheating, and he's like, "So have you been hiding cards this entire time? Skeleton, I'll kill you if you..." And you see,
I'll go ahead and walk up there to get in the general area.
Yeah, there's this moment where the orc sort of starts to get close to the Forsaken, and you immediately see his hand go up, and just appearing in his hand, a scythe appears in his hand that just
Forsaken?
sort of... Yeah, the Forsaken. That just appears in his hand immediately up against the neck of the orc, who sort of leans back as there's suddenly a scythe in his face. "Please, my friend, if a card fell on the ground, that's no cause for cheating. If you like, we'll start a new hand. But there's no need to get upset. I'm taking your money fair and square."
I'm going to, while I'm behind this guy, you know what? I don't like cheaters. So why not? While I'm behind the skeletal guy and the orc can possibly see me, I'm just going to go ahead and sort of glance down to the skeletal guy for a second and walk back. Just point to the eye that he has the eyepiece on and just walk back.
And so roll me a persuasion check.
Uh, 14.
Let's see if the orc notices. Oh, with a 2 on the dice. So the orc seems to be too caught up with the scythe at his throat to really pay attention. And he sort of, "I'm taking your money fair and square." And he sort of brings the scythe back down and sets it down on the ground next to him, and then it vanishes from his hand as he lets go of it. So, shall we start a new hand? And the orc sort of sits down and grumbles and sort of like, "I'm out." And he sort of folds his cards and steps up from the table and walks away.
Can I see how much money this guy's lost?
Good 30, 50 gold.
Mm-hmm. How much money does this skeleton guy have in front of him?
A couple hundred.
What game are they playing?
Poker.
Just
Do I have... Can I tell what this man's monocle is?
If you focus on it with detect magic, you can tell it is divination magic.
Purely magic?
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're a few drinks in. What are you up to?
She's down in drinks right now.
Starting to feel a little bit tipsy after you've got like 6 drinks under you. Especially some of the stronger ones.
Did Josh just straight up leave, or...?
Well, when you started coming around and nobody started necessarily chasing me or anything, I just kind of stopped at the door and kind of looked to see what was going on.
Yeah. You see that exchange with the scythe
down and everything. I use a message cantrip and message you. Just let him go. Don't worry. I mean, I wasn't trying to. Whatever.
It's not about what. It's not about you attempting to cheat this game. It's about the fact that our Forsaken friend actively is.
You don't know that.
There's magic.
He's filthy rich and he's using divination magic on an eyepiece. I can be reasonably confident. Does he still have a bunch of... Because he still has 2 more people on his table.
Yeah, he's got like 3 more at the table, aside from the orc who walked away.
Actually, while I'm still using the reply for your message, if you want to join in on a hand, maybe his little seeing eyepiece might have some technical difficulties.
Interesting.
Because I don't like the idea of him cheating people out of money.
I know. I wasn't. Things didn't escalate like they were. Let's see.
Well, he did sort of immediately go straight to the death threat as soon as someone tried to
he did.
escalate.
I mean,
So
that was just I was just kind of curious what happened. But there's a possibility with all that gold on the table that I might be interested in getting in on it if I hear that there's. I'm going to come back over to talk to you and go back over to where she's drinking and stuff and discuss.
And as this is happening, she starts singing very loudly, very off key.
she's a musical drunk.
For now.
I take one of her drinks.
She might not even notice.
Probably not.
Probably not.
There's this loud orcish voice that's sort of filling the bar, starting to sing. What kind of songs? Just like traditional orcish songs, or just like anything you can think of, or
Probably traditional orcish.
there's probably a couple of other orcs that are a few cups in that probably start to join in. Soon the bar is ringing with the sound of orcish drinking songs.
Terrific. So what you said the guy's monocle might be magical?
It's enchanted with divination magic specifically.
Oh, means that he might be able to see the cards or figure out what they are.
Possibly read other people's emotions a bit better than he should be able to. Something akin to that. And if he's outed for cheating, I imagine what may happen is the gold would go back to the table.
Yeah. And I think that other orc that walked away from the table, is he still in the bar?
No, he walked out.
He left. Yeah, I don't feel like playing actually. Didn't really want to get involved. Anyway. Does anybody at the table look over at us now that we're...
As you look over, roll me a perception check.
Because 19.
You notice the Forsaken has sort of occasionally taken a glance back over at you.
Yeah, I was thinking that. But that's okay. I can handle one of those guys.
So what are you thinking?
What am I thinking? I'm not thinking anything. I'm trying to figure out what he's thinking about what I'm thinking. Because I'm just gonna keep staring him down while I'm gonna have another drink and just keep watching him. Because he knows that I set him up. I just want to see if he's visibly upset. I guess he doesn't really show much emotion if he's undead anyway. But
Yeah.
still,
His face is very stoic.
Yeah.
It's very hard to read any emotion off of him, but he mostly seems to be looking at his cards, looking up at the table as anyone makes a decision, looking over at you occasionally, looking back at his cards, playing a hand.
Winning.
Winning most of the time. He's not always winning,
okay.
but he tends to win a lot more than he loses, and he never seems to ante up too much that he might be in danger of losing a lot. Unless he knows that he's got a winning hand.
But he doesn't really feel threatened by me at all at this point.
Not yet, but you did see him pull a scythe out of nowhere,
Yeah,
so...
I know. That's the fun part. I'm sitting next to a drunk orc.
drunk singing orc.
Shiona's going to start a bar fight.
How do you do this?
I think first she's going to throw the whatever she's drinking out of mug cup at the
Just the oil tanker for a mechs on the beach.
at the nearest orc.
I will try to stop him.
That's a restoration.
Roll me initiative on both of you.
Restoration.
I've been hanging
I
around
gotta
her
roll
for such
initiative
an
for this.
Yeah, that's I figured that was why you were waiting around.
Yep.
I got a 14 on initiative. 'Cause
Oh!
you rolled a 1.
Right.
What does it come up to?
13 initiative.
That's a big old
17.
one.
That's a natural 1. He's last.
What'd you do?
I got a 14.
Okay.
No, 12. Sorry.
So, before any of you can react, Shiana just hauls off and hurls the tankard at someone else in the room, and it
Good.
clangs into one of the orcs. Specifically one of the orcs who's at the card game table.
You're one of the orcs at the card game.
Yeah, it just clangs off of his shoulder, and he looks up and he looks over his shoulder at Shiana, and it's just like, what do you?
So then she's gonna pick up bar stool, chair, whatever, and hit one of the other orcs over there.
So what's the undead guy doing at this point? Because I'm just watching him.
The Forsaken kind of looks up at the situation, folds his cards up and sets them on the table as he sort of starts watching what's going on. As the orc that got hit with the tanker is like, be right back. Sets his cards down, stands up from the table, and turns to start joining in on the fight. As the next orc that she just hit with a bar stool turns around and starts to walk over. What are you guys up to at this point?
Is this a 20-foot diameter, 20-foot radius? Sweet, that's a lot of the bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's most of the bar, honestly.
Does the person that she hit with the stool look drunk?
Probably yes.
Darn.
Probably didn't even feel it. They're fine.
But the guy at the table probably isn't.
No, he's only had a handful because he's playing cards. He's trying not to get too drunk.
Because I know you can probably keep her from starting more of a fight.
Yeah, I will try.
I need to figure out a way to stop everybody else from getting in on it. The drunk and calm emotions won't work.
It won't stop them from being drunk. It won't stop them from being violent drunk.
Okay. Calm emotions. Try to get as much as I can, specifically the two people she hit, but everyone in general.
Just roll some really quick. It's a charisma save or wisdom save?
It is a
Or spirit save.
charisma save, DC 15.
Cool. Do you know if someone succeeds?
It doesn't say that I do.
Okay.
Wait, within range must make a charisma saving throw. A creature can choose to fail the saving throw if it wishes. A creature fails its saving throw. Choose one of the following two effects.
I'm assuming you're going to choose just the non-violence thing.
Yes.
Okay. So, The incipient violence of the bar brawl just seems to suddenly be earthed as most everyone... Go ahead and roll me a charisma save.
I mean, she's not doing it necessarily out of anger.
20 on the die.
Also that.
She's, so, most everyone is not fighting anymore, except Shiana was unaffected. What are you up to, Brick?
You've become inured to my abilities.
I'm going to, what is it called?
If you have hold person, or if you can grapple.
I'm going to try to grapple it, but before I do that, which one is it? I have a hard time finding these. I need to have a better way of... that's it. I'm gonna cast Mark of the Beast and to get advantage on strengths and try to grapple her.
Okay. So, roll me an athletics check with advantage. You roll me either athletics or acrobatics.
Okay.
And we have to get out of town, like, we're not staying tonight.
I rolled low. 14.
I rolled terribly, even with advantage. A 1 and a 3.
Mm.
Acrobatics, that is a 5 total.
5. So, he's not able to get a hold on you, and you slip out of his grip.
Okay.
What are you up to? As not everyone in this bar has been affected, just most of them.
Me?
Yeah, from your spell. What are you doing next, Shiana?
She's probably making her way over to the bar. Gets up on it and starts throwing glasses.
Can I use my move action to just interpose on that?
I mean, you get the opportunity to make an attack of opportunity if you so desire, but she can move around you. She is a rogue.
I feel like randomly tripping someone would just cause more fighting.
So as Shiana rises up onto the bar and gets ready to start throwing things at people, and the beginnings of a bar fight, because it wasn't completely stopped, just most of the people, and anyone who is under the effects of the spell that she hits something with will immediately break out of it.
That's true.
As this bar fight begins to brew. That's where we're going to end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
Farewell.
Bye.